Yes, we are live. Are we live? Yes, we are. I'm so excited. Okay. Hi, everyone. Let's see. I have one viewer. Let's see. Let's get more people in here. Let's get more people in here. At the moment, I have only one viewer. Mhm. Let me put here. Mhm. Hello, I have about 8 watches right now, and I love to keep the time. I am so. Hi, really, Joe girl. Hello. Who are you? Let me say a warm welcome to you for being part of my early viewers. I am super excited to be here. It's been a long time. I haven't had a live session in like a very long time, and I don't know. I cannot express how excited I really am. Like I am excited to be here, and I was a bit nervous actually. I was nervous that people haven't seen me in a while. Will they come around? But I just told myself, what, relax. Irregardless of how many people we have here, we're still going to have an amazing time. So if you're watching me right now, please do me a favor. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me you. I want to know your name because I want to meet you. So tell me your name and where you're watching from. Let us make this exciting. Let us make it interesting. Okay. So kindly engage in the comment section. I'll be looking at that. So let me give you a warm welcome to the channel. Hi. My name is Nurse MJ. If you're watching me for the very first time, I'm a registered nurse currently practicing in the United Kingdom, originally from Nigeria. I trained in Nigeria. Nigeria trained me. I did my registered nursing from Nigeria. I got my license from Nigeria. And then I did perioperative nursing also from Nigeria before migrating to the United Kingdom. And I've been practicing in the United Kingdom for close to 6 years now. Yeah, I don't think so. I am going to the United States of America. I have a video coming on Sunday, so please do not miss it. So once you join this live session, just shout your name and where you're watching from, and I'll give you a shout out as well. Thank you, Juliana. Juliana Luco. Thanks so much for watching. In today's live session, we're gonna be discussing because I want us to go right to it. I know that we are not a lot watching right now, but I want us to get right to it. So, we're gonna be discussing other tech jobs. No one is talking about. Everybody keeps talking about health informatics. Everybody talks about what do you call it, everybody talks about data analysts. I'm like, I just said, I'm like, I'm interested in tech. This cannot be the only ones, okay? This cannot be the only ones. There's got to be more. So I said, okay, I found some. I'm like, okay, why I can't have this discussion on my own. I need to bring in experts. So I'll be having some experts on this live session as well. They will be sharing with you their own knowledge and how either you're a nurse, either you're a carer, you're a medical doctor, you're a pharmacist, whatsoever field in health that you are, or even if you are in the non-health sector, you have nothing at all to do with health, but you want to transition into tech. Okay? there is something for you. This live session is for you. It's not just for nurses, because when it's not just for nurses, because once people see me, they think I'm just for nurses. No, this night I am covering everybody. So what I want you to do for me right now, if you're watching this live session right now, is kindly share the link to this live session with your friends. Share with them, let them join as well. Let everybody come and learn and participate in this. Okay. So in this live session, this is literally what we'll be talking about, and I would definitely be bringing in experts. I just want us to be very kind, very polite in the community. Let us give them a warm welcome. We will have a session where we talk about this topic, where I get to ask them questions as well. We open the session. They have their own presentation to share with you, and then you have the opportunity to ask questions. Like, ask away, ask me any question you want to ask me in the comment section. I promise to respond, and you can also ask my guest your questions. Okay, so if you're just joining, hello, say hello in the comment section. Kindly shout out your name and where you're watching from. Let's make this interesting. My name is Nosemje, by the way, and I'm a registered nurse in the United Kingdom. I'm a nurse coach. I do a whole lot. I currently work in the operating theater as a theater manager. So there's a whole lot you can learn from me. And, subscribe to this channel so that you can learn more from me, and also follow my journey from the United Kingdom to the United States of America. Yeah. Anyway, let me bring in my guest now so that we can get right into it. Okay. Thank you. My first guest right now is, I won't say it. Just guess his name. Okay.
How you doing today,
Hello,
MJ?
Adesa.
Yeah, good to
Good
have you. Good to see you
evening.
again. Good evening.
It's always amazing time with you. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm doing very well. Good to be a part of your community, and I'm super excited to share my experience today.
Thank you. How has been your day so far? What have you been up to?
Not too bad. Today has been a slow day, and
Okay.
preparing for this session as well to give as much as I can today. You'll be moving to the US, so this is Japa squared or Japa part two.
Dapa Pro Max.
Japa Pro Max. I look forward to the video. I'd love to see and hear the story.
Okay, just before we dive into today's session, because I know that you've come with loads of information for my audience, for my community. Just before we dive into it, the other
Yeah,
day I was just going through Google, and I'm like, everybody keeps talking about earth informatics, like that's the only
yeah,
thing. Everybody talks about data analyst, like that's the only thing. So I said,
yeah.
no, I need to know more. So what are the other so first of all, before we start, let me allow
Yes.
you to introduce yourself to the community. Before I'm so eager to start. Look at me. Let me allow you to introduce yourself to the community. You have the floor.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for that. My name is Adaiza Suleiman. I'm a technology expert with over a decade experience cutting across management consulting and data analytics. I started my career as a management consultant, but then I transitioned into data analytics along the line. I've worked with some of the biggest organizations across the globe. And just like so many people who'd be watching this session today, I had no degree in computer science or computer engineering or anything technology. My first degree was in industrial chemistry, but I was able to pivot and I was able to transition. And as the founder of Tenalytics and the co-founder of Amdari, over the last 5 years, we've been able to help over 3,000 people make that same transition. And I'll be speaking about that today. So you talked about nurses
Mhm.
becoming, business data analysts, a a teacher becoming a healthcare data and reporting analyst. And you get to see so many people who have also made the same transition. And I'll share their stories and exactly how they did it and how you can also do the same. All right. I've worked in the UK. I've worked for companies in the US, working remotely back from when I was in Nigeria and when I moved to the UK. I've also worked with one of the largest privately owned energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa as a
Mm.
management information systems analyst. I've worked with FITC as well in the financial services sector, owned by the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Bankers Committee. So I'll be super excited to share my experience with every single one of you today. We'll have an amazing session. It might take, quite a while for us to wrap up today, but I'll be
Mhm.
sharing the steps you need to take, practical steps. At the end of the session today, you know exactly what to do, the mistakes you've been making, the adjustments you need to make, and of course the specific career path you can start to consider, not just healthcare informatics, pathology data analyst, healthcare data analyst, and
Mhm.
so on and so forth. And I'm going to go through that as we go through our session today.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let me throw my first question to you. So, guys, you can also drop your questions in the comment section and I will ping it to him. Okay. So, the first question I want to ask you, I'm just going to ask you two questions, nothing more. So, don't be scared. How can how can nurses
Yes.
and other non-healthcare professionals, a
Yeah.
lot of people are watching us that are not even nurses, how
Yeah.
can they switch successfully into tech?
Yes.
We they have to get a degree in tech, start all over again? Like, what is the first step for them to do, and what are the opportunities out there for them?
Absolutely phenomenal opportunities. Okay. I have a presentation which I'm going to share. All right. And would walk through the slides. And I have all the steps and all the nuggets right there for you. But one thing you need to know is you don't need to go get another degree. There is
Mhm.
something called project based learning. All right. If you want to transition, I transitioned from financial services and I transitioned into energy. When I moved to the UK, back in Nigeria, I was in the energy sector. In the UK, I worked in automobile. So the question is, how do you transition from one sector to the other sector to the other sector? And the answer to that is very straightforward, project based learning. And what's project based learning? Project based learning is simply working on projects in the sector you want to move into.
Mm.
So I want to get a job. Let's take, for example, I'm a nurse or I'm a carer. I have some experience in nursing in the healthcare space, which might be an advantage for me when interviewing for a job within the healthcare sector. But then I want to get a job, not as a nurse this time around, but I want to get a job within the data ecosystem. I
Mm.
have to work on projects that would expose me to data analytics within the healthcare space. Until you can do that, and except you do that, you'd find it difficult to speak the language during interviews and to explain yourself in the best way possible to position you as the best candidate for that job. When you learn, and I'll show you exactly what that means. So, all the things I'm saying, it sounds very abstract, but what does it mean in practical terms? And I'll show you people that did it and exactly how they did it. All right. So, that's one step. The next step is you must show your workings, show your work, show what you've done before. Okay. Now, one of the things the NHS would do when they're hiring for, and I'm using the NHS as an example because we have over 80 alumni working with the NHS. They work as project managers, pathology data analysts, healthcare reporting analysts, benefit analysts, data architects, and so on and so forth, business architects as well. The NHS would always assess you. Okay. You'd have a scenario where they give you a case study, you get that case study, you go analyze the data, and you come present to them. Now, your presentation and the way you analyze the data will determine if you move to the next stage. A lot of people drop at this stage because they have not learned in a project based environment. Okay. So, and those are part of the things that we do. And we've done this so many times. So, we know the process. We walk you through when you have an interview, we prep you for that interview. So, you know what you're getting into. We look at the case studies together. You create your presentation. You present to me or to other experts. First of all, we critique it, give you constructive feedback, what you need to change and adjust, and eventually you go to the interview and make your presentation. Okay. So, like I said, not MJ, if you can bring, I have another device connected to this live. If you can bring that live. I have a presentation and I can just walk through that. And
Okay.
yes, absolutely.
Okay, I've done that now.
Okay. So would you want me to go through my presentation? I'm going to take about maybe 35 to 40 minutes and then,
Okay,
or
I would actually love you to mention some,
yep.
some health tech roles or health tech
Yes.
jobs that
Yes.
nurses and non-healthcare professionals or
Yep.
other healthcare professionals can begin
Yes.
to look into, can consider. So if that's part of your presentation, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, it is absolutely. It is. Okay, but I can give you 10 of them right now.
Okay, yes, please. Let's go for it.
Healthcare business analyst role, healthcare informatics. You talked about informatics already. Healthcare data and reporting analyst, medical data analyst, healthcare IT project manager, clinical data scientist, pathology data analyst, clinical decision support analyst, medical imaging analyst, healthcare AI engineer. And these are just 10 out of so many. And
Mm,
again, these are roles that people have gotten.
mm,
Okay. And I'll show you the job descriptions of some of these jobs, the person who got the job, how they got the job. So, like I said, by the end of the session today, you'd have a very clear picture on how you can also make the same transition as well. Okay. So I'll shoot and go ahead and present and let's get cracking. Um, okay. So let me know when you can see the slide. Have you seen the presentation, Nosem? You might have to bring that up as well. I don't know. StreamYard has a funny way of you see that in the
okay.
background. Yes, yes. So that's it. So there
Okay.
are four things. There are four things I'll be showing in the session today, and I just want to highlight that. Okay,
Mm,
I'll show how to choose the right career path. Like you said, for all the roles we've talked about and I've listed, how do you choose the right career path? And I'll also
mhm,
show you how to learn the skills and how to land these high demand jobs. All right. And I'll show you how to gain the work experience that employers want from you, the best to represent yourself as the best candidate. Okay. And finally, I'll show you how to position yourself, where to apply, how to apply, and how you stand out from the competition eventually. Okay. I'm going to skip William because I wanted to talk about William. If you remember, Nos MJ, William came on board.
don't skip William, please. Some
Okay.
people were not there and
They
probably
were not
haven't
there.
seen the video. Please don't skip
Absolutely.
William.
Absolutely. So, for those of you that haven't watched the video, go back to Nos MJ's YouTube, go watch the video. William came on board and he spoke about his experience. William was a civil engineer back in Nigeria. Okay. No experience within the tech ecosystem. He moved to Poland for his master's. Now, he realized very quickly that there was no way he was going to get a job in construction in Poland because he couldn't speak Polish. So what was the next step? He started to research and he came to us. We had a conversation and he realized that I can transition from civil engineering into a career path within the tech ecosystem. So he joined our data analytics program last year, January 2024. Okay, so he joined the program, he completed all these projects, worked on all the case studies. Just like I mentioned earlier, he had multiple interviews. We prepped him for his interviews, and eventually he landed a job as a junior strategy analyst with a company in the financial services sector called Marsh McLennan in Poland. So he moved from civil engineering with no experience and he moved into a career path within as a junior strategy analyst. And he made a post about that. I'll
Mhm.
see if I can show that very quickly. Again, if you want to see and hear from William yourself, then you might want to go to Nos MJ's. Let me click on this and see. Yeah, so that's the post he made when he got the job. So that's William right there. You remember William, not MJ? That's the
Yeah,
picture he took when he landed the job. And here he's saying, I'm excited to share that I've officially joined Marsh McLennan as a strategy analyst.
analyst.
Okay. Now, if you go to William's profile, there's something I really want to show here because I'm going to double down on this as we move on today. Now, you would see where it says you both worked at Analytics. All right. This is extremely important. And I'm going to come back to this. The reason why you should have something like this. So if you go to William's profile, you are going to see where you have William working as a data analyst with Tenalytics. All right. And that's the job he just started. It started this month in October 2025 with Marsh McLennan. And if you look at the job, the job role itself, you'd see it's 100% data analyst related role, analyzing performance data and KPIs, developing and maintaining dashboards and reports, and so on and so forth. Okay. So I'm going to come back to explain the reason why this is important. And you need to have this on your LinkedIn and also on your CV. But that's William's story. Okay. And again, go back to the video, go to Nurse MJ's YouTube, and you'd have that video right there. I want to talk about Sharon, and I'll come back to also double down on Sharon's story again. But Sharon was a healthcare assistant working with the NHS. But today, Sharon is a business data analyst. I can't see you anymore, Nurse. Okay, you're back
Oh, I'm
now.
here. I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. Something about Sharon I want to mention, which is very interesting. Sharon was able to transition in 3 months.
Mm.
We rarely see this for somebody who has no experience and moving from healthcare into a data related role. It's not very common. All right. Within the space of 3 months, we've seen 4 months, 5 months, and so on. But Sharon did it in 3 months. Sharon came to us in March this year, 2025. She wanted to move away from, a healthcare assistant role. And eventually we helped her tailor her CV to a business analyst role. She joined our business analysis program in March this year. She did all the things I'm going to show you how to do today. And in May this year, 2025, Sharon landed a job as a business data analyst, and she was still able to keep her sponsorship. All right, she was on sponsorship, she still kept her sponsorship. And that was the beauty about Sharon's story. Sharon also had an interview, the same, similar to what Nurse MJ, the interview you had with William. She had an
Mm.
interview as well. And all these things are going to be on the slide. So you can listen to Sharon yourself, and you get to hear from Sharon how she was able to do this, and so on and so forth. Okay, but let's dive deeper into our session today. And the first question is: the career path you choose determines if you will get a job fast.
Mm.
Okay, the career path you choose is very important, and I'll show you how and why you should focus on these career paths. All right, now, one of the first things that we do is we take a three-step approach in ensuring that we select the right in-demand career path. And the first thing we do is called the job analysis. So we take jobs, we scrape job data from the major job boards, from CV Library, from UK Visa Jobs, from Jobs Visa HQ, read.co.uk, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, built in all the major top job boards. We scrape the data and we analyze to find the jobs that are in high demand. Okay, so which jobs are recruiters hiring for today? We see those jobs. Then we take it a step further. We go into the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report.
Mm.
Okay, this is released every 2 years. The most recent was released in January this year, 2025. Okay, so I have the link right here. So at the end of the session, the slides would be in the description. You can download, have access to my slides. So you can click on all these links. Okay, but I'm just going to go there very quickly, maybe in 2 minutes, and I'll show you what this report looks like. So if you click on that link, it takes you to the PDF document. And again, it's available for you to download for free. So I'm going to wait for that to come up. And I think it would go right down to I think page 30. Let's just wait for a second for it to come up. I don't know why it's taking this long. Okay. All right. So it even went straight to that page, the page I actually want to show. Now, one of the things the World Economic Forum shows you are the jobs.
Go for
uh,
it. Sorry.
yeah, are the jobs that are in high demand today, the jobs that would grow in high demand, and the jobs that will decline in the next few years. So you don't want to get into a career path. Say you want to transition today, and because Nurse MJ is saying data analytics is a fantastic career path, so because of that, you want to jump into data analytics. No, you want to look at it from a research-based perspective. All right. So which jobs would grow? At the left-hand side, you have the jobs that would grow. And at the right hand side, you have the jobs that will decline in demand over the next 5 to 10 years. And if you look at the list of jobs that will grow, I'll just highlight a few because of time. Okay. You'd see the big data specialist right here. All right. If you scroll down a little bit, you'd see AI and machine learning specialist. These are data science related roles. You'd see the data warehousing specialist. Okay, these are your data engineers and so on and so forth. You'd see the data analysts, the data scientists. These are jobs that are in demand today and the jobs that would grow in demand. Okay, you'd see information security analysts. These are your cybersecurity roles. You'd see your data engineers, right? And if you scroll and keep on scrolling, you keep on seeing the jobs that would grow in demand. The process automation specialist, these are your business analysts. The digital transformation specialist, these are your business analysts. And as you scroll down, you'd keep on seeing the database network professionals, the business intelligence analysts, these are data analysts, the database architects, the project managers, and so on and so forth. So we looked at this report. And why is the report important? It shows you where the world is going in terms of jobs. In the next 5 years, by 2030, over if I'm correct with the actual number, I think about 90 million jobs, 72 million jobs rather, would disappear due to AI, digitalization, and so on. 72 million jobs would disappear. However, over 90 new million jobs will be created. So you want to know where the world is going, so you key into it. I did that 12 years ago. I know the world was going data, and I got into data about 12 years ago. Now, when we look at this report, we see the jobs that are growing. And then we take it a step further. We do a regional analysis. We look at the UK eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa. We look at the US, the job titles with the highest H1B acceptance rates. And we look at Canada. We look at the provincial nominee programs with accelerated pathway to provincial nomination. And I'll just click on one and just for the next 2 minutes. So you have an idea of how the approach we took to selecting the career path that are high in demand and would give you access to these jobs. All right. So if you click on this link, again, the link will be made available. These are publicly available information and you can have access to this. So when you look at the skilled worker visa eligible occupations and codes, you'd see the career path that are eligible for sponsorship and the ones that are not. Okay. You want to focus on the roles that have higher skilled. Higher skilled simply means if you're in the UK, there is no restriction to you applying for visa sponsorship, the skilled worker visa. Okay. However, if you see where you have ineligible or you see where you have medium skilled means you have some sort of restrictions. Okay. So maybe you can apply, but you can't apply with your dependents. Ineligible means you are ineligible to apply. Higher skilled means this is right for sponsorship and you have no restrictions to apply. I'm just going to highlight a few again because of time and just show you. I'll leave the codes on my slide for you. Okay. So now if you go to the code, let's start from 2131. You'd see the IT project managers. These are your agile project managers. Is this role eligible for sponsorship? Absolutely. It is a higher skilled role. You know, when the UK moved from RQF level 3 minimum for sponsorship to RQF level 6, this is what it means. More higher skilled roles are the roles that would qualify for sponsorship with no restrictions. 2133, you'd see the IT business analyst. Under that, subcategories, the data engineers, the data architects, the business analysts, and so on and so forth. You see the cybersecurity professionals, okay? And if you scroll down a little bit more, you keep on seeing more of these roles and so on. 2434. So let's say I've done data analytics, for example, and you're asking, as a data analyst, do I qualify for sponsorship?
That's
Absolutely. And that's simply because As a data analyst, you can get a job as a business intelligence analyst. You can get a job as an information security analyst and so many other roles. All you need to do to be sure that that role qualifies for sponsorship, if you click on this tool, and I just want to show you this as a bonus, if you click on that link, it brings you here. And I got an offer in business intelligence. Okay. So, as a business intelligence analyst, it simply means that I am a data analyst. Business intelligence is a subset of data analytics. Okay. So, if I look at this, it would show me the code that this particular role falls into. So this is the UK government's website. All right. So if you type this in, you'd see that it falls under business analyst and consultant with the code 2431. All right. So if you go back to the code 2431 and check, is it a higher skilled role? Is it ineligible? You want to check. So 2431. So let's go there very quickly. So you see that right here. 2431, it is a higher skilled role, so you don't have any restrictions to applying to jobs within this particular category. So what we did, Nos MJ, was we took all this process, put them together to identify the career path that would not just give you a job fast, but is also eligible for sponsorship across any region where you are. And we came up with 8 career paths. All
Mhm.
right. The business analyst, the data analyst, the data scientist, the agile project manager, the data engineer, the cybersecurity analyst, the HR analyst, and last but not the least, the financial analyst. So these are the 8 career paths that if you find yourself here, you will get a job very fast. It doesn't matter if you are in healthcare, you are in retail, FMCG, financial services, you can transition into any of these roles. And for those of you who want to move into healthcare, and like I said, I'm going to double down on that and show you how you can do that and people that have done it too. And these are the roles you can start to look at, the high demand roles in health tech, the healthcare business analyst, the healthcare informatics specialist, healthcare data and reporting analyst, medical data analyst, healthcare IT project manager, clinical data scientist, pathology data analyst. I heard this for the very first time when one of our participants got this job with the NHS, also on full visa sponsorship. And I'll show you how we did it. Okay. Clinical decision support analyst, medical imaging analyst, and of course, healthcare AI engineer. So these are just 10 out of so many that you can consider getting into. Okay. So now that you know that there are certain roles I can focus on and would give me access to high demand jobs and land a job a lot faster, the next question we need to ask is, how do I learn the skill? Okay, if I currently work as a nurse, or I currently work in as a carer, or I currently work in FMCG, but I want to get a job in healthcare, okay, within the tech ecosystem, how do I do that? So there are 2 major categories of people, not MJ, and for everybody listening. The first category are those who have healthcare experience and they want to get health tech jobs. And there are others
Mhm.
who don't have healthcare experience, but they also want to get health tech jobs. Okay. So, how do you do it and how do you pivot? That's the second question we're going to answer today. Okay. And this is how you learn the skills. So, learning is not enough. You have to learn the right way. Now, you learn, like I mentioned earlier, Nos MJ, you have to learn in a project based environment. And also, you have to know how to show your work.
Mm.
Okay, and let me give you the case study of these 2 amazing professionals, and then I'll tell you how they did it. This is Mawutin. Mawutin is the one that got a job as a pathology data analyst.
Wow.
Okay, Mawutin had a bachelor's in chemistry. He had experience back in Nigeria as an operations manager, but then he joined our data analytics program. He got a job as a pathology data analyst with the NHS on sponsorship. I'm going to show you what he did And then you have this gentleman, his name is Pavel. Pavel was a teacher back in Cameroon before he moved to the US. He wanted to get a job within the healthcare space because those were the jobs available in his city. He joined our data analytics program and he got a job as a healthcare data and reporting analyst in Tucson, Arizona, in the US. Okay. And I'll show you their LinkedIn profiles. Now, how did they do it? They both have something in common, which is project based learning. So let me show you what project based learning is all about and how these two gentlemen, who one was an operations manager, the other one was a teacher, but today they are both in the healthcare space. One as a pathology data analyst, the other one as a healthcare data and reporting analyst. I'll show you what they did. I'll take you to their LinkedIn profile and I'll show you the job description of Mawutin working with the NHS. So you start to understand that it's not rocket science to actually do the same thing Mawutin has done. All right. So what did they do? What is project-based learning? This is project-based learning. Let's go to their classrooms. Um, Give me 1 second. Okay, so let's go to their classrooms. So when Mawutin joined us, Mawutin and Pavel, this was how they learned. Okay, so I'll take you to one of their classes. And like I mentioned earlier, if you want to get a job in healthcare, you must have knowledge and experience and projects working on the type of project that will help you get that type of job. You want to get a job as a HR data analyst. Have you analyzed healthcare related data before? If you haven't, how do you want to get that job? If you want to get a job as a pathology data analyst, have you analyzed pathology related data before? If you haven't, then how do you get that job? All right. So when they learned with us, they didn't just learn Excel like everybody else, the way they learn, how to do VLOOKUP, you can do SUMIF, COUNTIF, and all of that on Excel. They learned Excel by working on healthcare related projects. And I'll show you one of them. Okay, so this is your live classroom environment. So you join a live class. Every class has a case study. So, but let's look at this case study very quickly. Okay, yeah. So this is a case study for a hospital called St. Luke's. St. Luke's Hospital. St. Luke's Hospital had a problem. So you read about the introduction, and these case studies are real case studies. Okay, all we do is we change the name, we change the data, so you can't tie anything back to anybody or any company because of data privacy.
Yeah.
So what problems did this hospital face? They had operational inefficiencies due to unstructured data. Management also lacked visibility into certain trends, patient trends, the financial performance, the emergency room efficiency, and so on and so forth. So they had so many issues. A patient wants to see the MD, wants to see a physician, and so on. They have to wait for so long because they didn't have efficient systems, and so on and so forth. So you, as a data analyst, would come in, work on this project using what? Microsoft Excel. And that's how you learn how to use Excel. You don't learn by watching videos and just trying to play around. At the end of the day, you would use Excel to build something like this. And Nos MJ, and to the other audience listening, this type of project is what gets you access into the type of jobs you want to get. So you need to ask yourself the question, have you worked on healthcare related data? Have you worked on the type of data that would get you into that healthcare space? If you haven't, then you'd struggle to convince any employer that you can do the job. Now, once you've done that, you've learned in class, and this is the class recording, a live class where you have a professional who has done this so many times, over 5 years experience at the minimum, walking you through all the things you need to know. So you are solving this problem together. You are working on Excel together. You can stop, raise your hand, ask questions, and then you have somebody give you feedback on what you should do or what you are doing wrong. You can share your screen and say, hey, Adeza, I don't know what you've done here.
Yeah.
Tell me what I should do. And this is a live class currently ongoing, solving that same project, that same case study. Okay. Now, after you're done with your live class, you've completed the project. What happens? You have to show your work, have evidence that you've done this job before, evidence that you've done it before. And because I've done it before, I can do it for you. And because I know the terms, the terminologies, the right language to use when I get into an interview, I'll be totally different from somebody who is doing that or who hasn't done the same thing I've done. Okay. So, and that's where your portfolio comes in. This is a portfolio. This is a portfolio of a data analyst. So you see that right there, data analysis portfolio. So for everybody, Mawutin, Pavel, they created a portfolio. Your portfolio is like your showroom, the showroom of where you keep all the things you've done as evidence. If you want to buy cakes, for example, Nos MJ, you want to see somebody who has baked so many different types of cakes. You want to walk into the store and select the cake you want. Okay. Now, this is your showroom where you upload all the different projects. And this is a project on a hospital related case study. All right. And anybody can come here. So the link to your project would be on your CV and also on your LinkedIn profile. So any hiring manager can come to your portfolio, click to see what you've done. All right. And this is a project where you solve the problem for the emergency room in a hospital and you built a dashboard on Tableau. Okay. And the dashboard is interactive, which means I can click on something and it responds to my interaction. So if I want to see data for only Q3, I can deselect this, everything disappears. I can click on only Q3 and it responds to all my actions. I can see the number of ER patients, the average age, wait time, and so on and so forth. Now, any recruiter that sees this would know categorically that if I can build this on Tableau, then I have the skills using Tableau. I can use Tableau in that NHS trust to help them analyze their data. Okay, that's simply what this means. So, and this is when I say you need to do two important things: learn in a project-based environment where you're working on projects, and also show the work you've done in a portfolio like this. And your portfolio would have so many types of projects, not just healthcare. Okay, you'd have projects on aviation, you'd have projects on logistics. This is Express Tech food delivery service using Tableau, Redux Airline flight analysis on Excel, all right, Nestle product analytics on Power BI, and so on and so forth. So you work on all these different projects and you put them in your portfolio. And let's quickly go to Mawutin and Pavel's LinkedIn very quickly, and then we move on. Okay. So let's go to Mawutin first of all. So this is Mawutin. Again, one of the things you would also see, like I said, I'm going to come back here. You both worked at Analytics. I'll tell you why this is very important to have and why it makes a difference for you. So this is
Which
Mawutin.
profile is this? Oh, this is LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yes.
I need help with my LinkedIn.
That's not a problem at all. Just let Elijah know and Elijah organize that for you. Okay. So this is Mawutin. He works with the Southeast Hospital
Wow.
NHS Foundation Trust. Okay. As a data analyst. I'm going to show you Mawutin's job description. All right. He's on full visa sponsorship. And he got this
Wow.
job after what? Working with us as a data analyst consultant.
Hmm.
And this is very important for you to have on your LinkedIn profile. And like I said, I'll come back to explain that. And this is Mawutin's job description. Okay. Pathology service data analytics. He reports to the pathology IT manager, and the person responsible for this department is the head of pathology. Okay. And if you look at all what Mawutin is required to do or to use, very simple, straightforward tools, straightforward technologies, and so on and so forth. And let's go down to the last page where you have the specifications. Okay. They wanted somebody who could use Excel, SQL, Those were the only two technologies they wanted from Mawutin as essential skills: Microsoft Excel and SQL, structured query language. Okay, Mawuti knew a whole lot more because in our data analytics program, you learn a whole lot, not just Excel and SQL. You'd learn Power BI, you learn Tableau, you learn Microsoft Fabrics, and the rest. Okay, now let's go to the other gentleman, Pavel. Pavel, the teacher from Cameroon who became a healthcare data and reporting analyst. Again, if you go to Pavel's profile, you'd see where he's a data analyst. He started this job in March this year, 2025. He's a healthcare data and reporting analyst, works in Tucson, Arizona in the US. Prior to that, he was a data analyst with Tenalytics, right? Now, this was how the both of them learned the skill by working on healthcare related projects. It moved them from people who had no experience in healthcare to people who got jobs within the healthcare space as a pathology data analyst and healthcare data and reporting analyst. This was part of the ingredients that helped them land the job. Okay. Now, when you've done all of this, I always tell people that employers don't just want you for your skills, they want you for more than your skills. Yes, you can use all these tools and technologies. You have worked on so many projects. You have your portfolio. You've shown them what you've done. You can walk them through what you've done. They want more than that. They want you to have experience and come to them with your experience. Okay. And now more than ever before, employers are more deliberate in hiring because the cost of sponsorship, the cost of all of that has gone up. Okay, the minimum threshold used to be 38,700. Now it's 41,700, excluding the other costs, the legal costs, the licensing costs of the organization. So it's a lot more expensive to sponsor a potential employee. So the big question is they don't want to know what you can do. They want to know what you've done. Show me
Done.
what you've done.
Experience.
All right. Very important. And I like using this analogy and work with me here, Nos MJ. You want to buy a couch, all right, for your living room, and you're considering two people, Carpenter A, who has a certification, and Carpenter B, who has a showroom. You can walk into the showroom, see the type of couch, touch it, feel it, see the quality. Who would you trust to make your couch? Carpenter A or Carpenter B?
Carpenter B, because I can see workings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But the funny thing is, a lot of people position themselves as Carpenter A. They
Mm.
chase all the certifications first of all, rather than chasing the experience,
Experience.
showing what you can do, and having somewhere to warehouse the evidence that you've done this before, which is your portfolio. Okay. So that's very important. And that's what employers want from you. Only two things: they want you for your skills and they want you for your experience. And when you combine the two together, this is what forms your competence. Your competence is what? Skills plus experience. And we have this catchphrase at Analytics that we use: competence over credentials.
Mm.
Competence over credentials. If you have the right skills, you have the right experience. Nobody cares if you studied in Nigeria. Nobody
Mm.
cares if you studied in Ghana or wherever you studied. They can see, they've seen what you've done, and they know exactly the value that you bring to the table. Okay. So always have this at the back of your mind: competence over credentials. Okay. So once you've learned in a project based environment, you've also built a portfolio, then that is how you start building your experience. Your experience does not just come from you getting the job. Most people think I have to take the train. I live in Manchester. I have to take the train all the way to London, work in an office to gain experience. No, the projects you work on, the case studies you complete, and of course, you do all of that in your project based learning environment. That's one way you have experience. So you saw the portfolio I showed you, the
Mm-hmm.
case study Mawutin and Pavel worked on. That's part of the things they spoke about during the interview. They told them, oh, I worked on a data set where I helped a hospital optimize their operations, this and that. This was how I did it using Excel. And that was how they showed their potential employer that they can do the job and they've done it before.
And they
So
learned
that's
all of this while with you.
absolutely. They learned everything from A to Z while working with us. Now, the second way to gain experience is through internships. So, what we do is for all the programs that we offer at Analytics, it comes with 2 months internship. Okay, 2 months internship. Now, this means that when I'm done working on for 6 months working with analytics in a project-based environment, I need to work with other professionals in a cross-functional team. Okay, so even though I want to get a job as a healthcare data reporting analyst, I need to work with a data engineer who provides the data. I need to work with other stakeholders who would be collaborating to solve problems together. Because do you work alone, Nurse MJ, in the hospital where you work? Do you do things alone by yourself? Never. Nobody works in a silo. You work in a team to solve problems. So you need to learn interpersonal skills. You need to know how to work with people. You need to know how to collaborate. You need to know how to meet your deliverables. And that's what the internship aims to achieve. So we create a virtual environment for you where you work with other professionals. The data analyst would work with a business analyst. The business analyst works with a software developer, works with a project manager to solve similar problems, just like you would in a real company. And you do your internship with our sister company called Amdari. Amdari operates out of London in the UK and also Alberta in Canada. So one of the things you hear recruiters say is, do you have UK work experience? You can say, yes, I do. Okay, because you've worked in Amdari and you've worked in that environment where you've gained all the, interpersonal skills, communication skills, and the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've done all of this, again, you must have evidence. I've shown you what your evidence looks like, which is your portfolio that warehouses all the projects you've worked on. That's your showroom, just like that carpenter B that Nurse MJ chose. She's confident because he has evidence, right? You must also have evidence that you've done this job before. Okay. And this is how you move from understanding the right career path to choose. Number one. Number two, you know how to learn the skills to get you into the career path. You know that I must learn in a project based environment. I must do the job if I want to get the job. And I must have evidence, a showroom, which is your portfolio that warehouses all the projects you've completed. Okay. And your learning with us runs for 6 months. So it's not you become a healthcare data analyst in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. No, it's 6 months of intensive, immersive learning. And then you have 2 months of internship with our sister company, Amdari. So it's an eight month learning journey. And that's why I told you the other time for what's her name now? Sharon, who got a job after 3 months. It's it surprised everybody, okay? Because usually, even though we encourage people to apply to jobs a lot earlier, you don't need to complete the program. She got a job in 3 months. So we've seen 3 months for other programs, but not in the healthcare, health tech roles. She really surprised us with that. So for other roles, we've seen 4 months, 5 months, and so on and so forth. But she did it in 3 months. And the way the classes are also structured, they are structured in a way that if you're in the UK, you don't need to join classes at odd hours. Okay. You don't need to wake up late in the night and all of that to join a class. No. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, if you're in the UK. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday in the morning, you have your live sessions. So that's when you have your live class. Your live class is where you get to interact with a professional like myself, and we solve problems, we work on problems together. Those case studies, those projects that would enable you to land that job, we do it together, we solve them together every Saturdays. And if you're in the US or in Canada, similar time zone, North America, you join a class at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So if I'm in the UK, what this means is I have the flexibility of
Mm-hmm.
joining the US or Canada class if I'm not available in the morning. Okay, so the US Canada class would start around 6 p.m. my time in the UK. So I can join in the evening if I want to, or I can join in the morning. Looking at your schedule, you have the opportunity to choose your favorable, schedule at the end of the day. Now, every other day, what do you do? That's the question you would ask. So on Saturdays, I join my live class. What else? What next? We have your self-paced sessions. These are sessions where you log into the LMS, and I'll show you the LMS very quickly. You log into the LMS, which is the learning management system, okay, and you get to solve. This is where you learn on your own at your convenience, any day, anytime, just like you would if you pay for an online course. Okay, you can learn at any time. If you're free on Sundays, you log in, and I'll show you what that looks like very quickly. So for anybody who's registered or joined, you have access to a dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to log in, and I'll show you what the dashboard looks like. Okay, so you have access to a dashboard. Welcome back, Adeza. So if you're not MJ, welcome back, not MJ. Welcome back, anybody, you have access. You see the program you've registered for. So let's say I've registered for data analytics or agile project management. Okay. Let's say I've registered for data analytics. So I'm just going to scroll down. I'll see the program I've registered for, and I just click on continue learning. Okay. So this takes me to my class. I can learn anything I want to learn at my convenience. So I want to learn Excel. Okay. I want to learn Excel operations. I want to know how to do, or let's say I want to learn data cleaning functions. I want to know how to use the trim function. I come in here, click on that, and I can play my video and practice at my convenience on my own schedule, any day, anytime, anywhere. Now, the beauty about this is you are also taught by Ifemena, the co-founder of Tenalytics. Ifemena has worked in Ireland. He's worked in the UK. He moved from Ireland to the UK, worked for companies in the US, and also works for companies in Canada at the moment. And this is the person
Wow.
teaching you. He worked as a business intelligence developer back in Ireland. He got sponsorship. He got a far better offer in the UK. He left his sponsorship in Ireland to move to the UK and he's worked for the post office, worked for Teleflex, one of the largest medical technology companies in the UK, and he's worked across all these different sectors. And that's the caliber of your facilitators and your trainers. So here is your dashboard, your personal dashboard, where you learn at your convenience. If you have an interview, what do? Just come to your dashboard. You see where you have your interview prep. Okay, click on that and you'd see how to book an interview. So for everybody I'm going to be showing you today, so Pavel and Mawutin, that's just two out of so many, and I'm still going to show you in our session today. Whenever they had interviews, they came here and they booked an interview. You select the program you've registered, you copy the link to the job, you paste it right here, you upload the CV you used to apply to that job, upload it right here. Select your preferred date. When do you want to be prepared for this interview? You select the date and you select somebody that will prepare you for that interview. So somebody would jump on a one-on-one call with you and prepare you every single thing you need to know ahead of that interview. Okay. And that's how you start to increase your chances of getting that job far better than the competition. All right. And of course, we have something we call the mentorship session. I'm going to show you what that looks like, the inside. I had one on Thursday. And what I was showing people to do is something similar to our discussion today. If you don't have experience in a sector, how can you showcase experience? So we had that session on Thursday in a mentorship session. So mentorship sessions, this is where we bring in experts. Okay. So if not MJ were a, let's say, pathology data analyst, we bring in somebody like Nos MJ and say, we have some students who want to become pathology data analysts. Come share real life, day to day, the life of a pathology data analyst. Yeah, so you're going to see me in your mentorship sessions, the co founder, and other industry experts that would walk you through all the things you need to know how to do to get that job. Usually, the mentorship sessions happen Thursday in the evenings between 9 to 10 p.m. if you're in the UK, and we have sessions scheduled for those in Canada and in the US as well, around 8 p.m. Mountain Time. So you're back from work around this time if you work, and then you have the opportunity to join. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a series of people who have gotten jobs apart from Mawutin and Pavel in the health tech space, how they were able to do it, and so on. Amazing people. And I'm going to play maybe one or two video because of time. I want you to listen to some of them and how they were able to do it, what they did that made a difference, in addition to all the things I've mentioned so far. So this is Ramat. Ramat was a customer service rep in the UK. So she moved to the UK for masters, just like so many people. And she wanted to get a job within get visa sponsorship. That was her objective. I don't It doesn't matter the job, but I want to get visa sponsorship. So she worked in customer service. She joined our business analysis program. We helped her with her CV, tailor her CV. She joined all our mentorship sessions, like I mentioned. We prepped her for multiple interviews. Okay. And Ramat got a job with the NHS, also on visa sponsorship, as a business architect. And Ramat is doing absolutely phenomenal. Okay. I'm going to show you Ramat's profile. We bring her
Business
all the time.
architects. I've not heard
Business
that
architect.
before.
Yeah. You get to
Yeah,
see
really?
very, yeah, you get to see
Wow.
interesting roles with the NHS. Let's go to Ramat's profile very quickly on LinkedIn. So that's
Wow.
Ramat. Absolutely
I would employ
phenomenal.
Ramat.
So yeah, so you can see the title, her job title right here, business architect. So it's simply the person who ensures that the business is efficient. How do
Mm,
we streamline operations to ensure that if a process takes 5 days, how do we reduce it to take just 5 minutes? That's
mm,
pretty much what she does. And she worked as a customer service rep prior to that. And again, one of the things you'd see here is business analyst consultant with
analytics.
Analytics. Okay. So we bring Ramat. In fact, this last Wednesday, Ramat coached somebody, preparing them for their NHS interview this
Wow.
week, this last Wednesday. So we bring these people that have gotten these jobs to come back and help other people who also have interviews and so on and so forth. So you know exactly what to expect. And I think I'm going to play Ramat's video. I want you to listen to one specific thing about what Ramat said with practical case studies. The case studies I talked about and the project. She talked about it and how relevant it was. So let me go to Ramat very quickly. I'm just going to play maybe 2 minutes out of that because it's a very long interview. And I don't want to play too long. So this is Ramat right here. You can see Ramat in the middle. That's me right there at the right, extreme right. And this is the person doing the interview. Okay. So I'm going to play about just maybe 2 minutes because it's a 1 hour interview. Okay, so I can't play a 1 hour video. I want you to listen to how Ramat's project helped her get this job with the NHS as a business architect. All right, so let's listen and enjoy Ramat's story. So I'm going to play it and pause. Nosemj, let me know if you can hear the audio so I
Okay.
continue. Did
I
you hear
can't
the
hear.
audio? I don't
No,
think
I can't.
so. Okay.
You have like a group
No,
where you
no.
I'm just going to take it back a bit. All
Okay.
right. Like I said, I just want to play. I want you to listen to the importance because sometimes it's easy to listen to me, but it's a lot better for you to listen to somebody who has done the exact thing you're trying to do. So you hear
Exactly.
from their own perspective and you can easily relate with them. Okay. So let's play the first 2 minutes of what Ramat has to say.
Mhm.
and then I think 2 months for the practical. You have like a group where you practicalize all the things that you've been taught. They give you a project, they assign a project to your group, and then you partake, you do all the things that you would actually do on the job, you do it with them. So that took about 2 months or so. But I tell you for a fact, I started immediately after my first month with them. I already knew what I wanted. So I started enrolling for jobs and all of that. I'd not even
Wow.
finished my practicals before I got a job as a business analyst in one of the trusts in NHS. And that's where I still work currently. So it was that good. It was that
Wow.
good. Wow. All the things they taught us, all the practicals that I've started to learn like bit by bit, because I already mentioned that I haven't even finished. So that was what I put into CV, into my supporting statements. And the good thing, what even crowned it up for me was when I got the interview, I told Adeza about it, and then there was a proper prep, like interview prep that I did that just prepped me comprehensively for the job. He was one of the facilitators in chat then that just prepped me, and then that was it. I got in there and smashed it, and I got the job.
Wow. She said she
Wow. She said
smashed
she
it.
smashed it.
Wow.
I always laugh when I hear that. She went in there and she smashed it. She got the job. Yeah, absolutely. So that's Ramat. And that was how Ramat was able to get this job with the NHS. Okay. She talked about the importance of what? Project. The project she worked on, and she didn't even complete her program before she got this job. When she had the interview, she reached out. We did a proper interview prep for her. She knew what she was going in there to do, and she got the job. Today, she's helping other people to, make that transition as well. So that's very, very important. Having projects, having the experience, doing the job. Now, the final part of our session today is where and how to apply. How do you position yourself? Okay, so now you have all the skills, you have the project, you've completed, you've built a portfolio, you have 10 analytics on your LinkedIn and on your CV. And the reason why that is important, all the people I've shown, and I'm going to show more, they all have that on their LinkedIn. When an employer, two things, the reason why that is important, okay? When an employer wants to hire you and they see that you are already on that role, they know that you are good enough. That's why you got that job. That's number one. So you already have an advantage over the competition. Number two is Ramat was a customer service rep before she got that job as a business architect. When she got an offer, the NHS would ask for a reference. Where have you utilized these skills before? Where have you done these things before? You say you can do this with Excel. Where have you done it? And that's where a reputable organization would have to vouch for you and would have to validate the skills that you have. All right. And that's why when you have that on your LinkedIn, it serves as an advantage for you because when they send us the reference, we can vouch for you and say, this is what you can do. This is what you've done. You're professional. You've done this, you've done that. And that's how you keep that job. Very important. If you don't have that, you probably wouldn't even get into the interview because they see you as a customer service rep. What business do you have to do with business architect or business analysis and so on and so forth? So that's the importance of having that. I know I said it so many times that I was going to show you and tell you why that was important.
Mhm.
Now, if you don't also know where to apply and how to apply, it becomes a problem. So one of the things we also show you how to do is never use a CV more than once. Don't reuse a CV when applying to jobs. And also know the number of applications you need to make. Every application you make, you must have a tailored CV. Every role has different requirements, even though the job title is the same. If I'm applying as a data analyst to Revolut, I'm applying as a data analyst to the NHS. They are both data analyst roles, but the requirements will be different. And if I use the same CV as the CV I used to apply to the previous job without tailoring that CV to the new application, I will find myself in the pile or pack of CVs that are likely going to go into the dumpster, thrown out by the ATS. Okay. So we show you how to tailor your CV. We do the very first one for you. We show you the number of applications you need to make. On the average, you need to apply to at least 267 roles in order to get one offer.
267.
Yes, 267. That's the average. Okay. Now, if you know this, it gives you the context of the work you have to do.
Mm.
All right. So you know the number of applications you need to make per day, per week, per month, and then you start inching closer. Of course, some people would get jobs or get interviews a lot faster, which would lead to a job, maybe after one application or two or three. But then the average is about 267. And this is not a Analytics study, it's a global study. Okay. So what we also do is we know that applying to jobs is not the only way to get a job,
Mm.
right? Referrals, applying to jobs, in fact, represent only 40% of the jobs people get. The other 60% comes through referrals, networking, and so on and so forth. And we also focus on that a whole lot during our mentorship sessions. One of the first things we tell you to do, I just moved to the UK. I live in London, I live in Bradford, I live in Leeds, I live in Manchester. Look for the tech hubs close to you. Go on Google and search the innovation hubs near me,
Mm.
tech accelerators near me. Why is that important? The founders and the co-founders of companies you want to work with, go to those places for networking. And if you find yourself there, you get closer to the people that are likely going to hire you at the snap of a finger. And we've had so many people get jobs that way. Okay. So we show you how to do all these things, where to apply, how to apply, the strategies you need to take note of. And one very important thing is paid platforms. We know that, and this is, especially for those who want to get sponsorship, we know that if I apply on CV Library, yes, I might get some opportunities. If I apply on read.co.uk, I might get some opportunities. If I apply on the jobs.gov.uk website, I might get some opportunities, and so on and so forth. Or NHS jobs, there are opportunities there. However, I want a platform that is exclusive. Okay, only visa sponsorship, nothing more. So we subscribe to multiple platforms like this where only visa sponsored jobs are curated. You don't have to pay, we pay, and we scrape these jobs and we send them to you. All
Wow.
right. And I'll show you that in your classroom very quickly. So if you go to your classroom, one of the things you would see is your job offers. So if you scroll up to where you have extra resources for those who are already in the program, you'd see where you have job offers. Okay. If you click on your job offers and you click on that right there, you'd see where you have all the jobs we post. We post this weekly. All right. You'd see where you have, does this job come with visa sponsorship? Yes, 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 yes. Does it? And you scroll all the way, you'd see the jobs, the ones that come with sponsorship, the ones that don't. And this is where you start applying to jobs in organizations or getting access to jobs that your contemporaries don't have access to. And this increases your chances of getting that interview. When you get the interview, what happens? You book an interview prep, a professional prepares you, and that increases your chances of landing the job. Okay. So, and don't forget, I talked about the referencing. When it comes to referencing, we got your back. So, what a reference looks like typically is something like this. Okay. So this came in sometime last week on the 14th of October. Hi, dear Mr. Suleiman, Adeza Suleiman, we want you to complete this reference.
Mm.
If you look closely to the bottom, a little bit down below, you would also see this is also coming from the NHS. All right. So they send us the confirmation. We fill the references for you. Why can we do this? Because when you join us, you don't join us as a student, you join us as a consultant. Okay, so the project you work on are projects, real world projects that gives you these experiences and gives you the opportunity to showcase that you've done these things before and you simply can get a job, working with the biggest and the best organization. This is a role for a senior project manager. Okay, it's a senior project manager role. This gentleman joined our agile project management and he's gotten a job already with the NHS, also on sponsorship. So when it comes to references, we got your back. Okay, so if you've seen all the things I've said, is a series of steps, methodical, strategic steps to help you get the job. From the program you get to join, either any of the programs, data analytics, data science, data engineering, and so on and so forth, in demand career path. You choose one and you go all in on that. Okay. The second thing is the package. So all the things I've said so far falls under packaging in terms of presenting and positioning yourself as the best candidate for the job. Do you have the right CV? We help you revamp your CV. We review your CV for you at the very first instance so that the next subsequently we show you how to tailor that CV. So if you go to your live platform, one of the things you would also see, if I scroll up a little bit, is upload your CV here for revamp. So you send your CV to us, we review the CV, we revamp it for you, ensure it is keyword optimized, ATS friendly, and so on and so forth. When you're done with that, you also have your LinkedIn optimization. Okay, so you have LinkedIn optimization taken by me and so many other professionals. All these people that got organizations reaching out to them. How did they do it? They got to listen to me. They got to optimize their LinkedIn profile, which gave them opportunities. And I want to show you what that looks like very quickly. Yeah. So I want to open one of the one I took, LinkedIn optimization by Adeza. Okay. So this is a live session where we'll get to interact. I'll show you exactly what to do. I'll show you exactly what to do. We work on that together. And eventually, even if you miss the live session, the recording is there for you. You can come back, click on the recording, and you can watch every single thing that happened. So that's me. It's a practical session. Okay. And this is me showing you all the things you need to do on LinkedIn, step by step, down to how you create your image using tools like Google, AI Studio, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we look at LinkedIn together. I walk you
So it did
through.
not work. This suit that you wore here, you did not wear it.
I didn't wear that suit in real life. Oh my goodness.
Was
So
going to ask for the brand, but you have disappointed. The brand is AI brand. Wow.
it is. So, and this is just showing that if you don't have a professional photo taken in the studio, how do you still have something professional that you can upload on LinkedIn? So I'll show you how to do all of this, using different tools and so on and so forth.
And
Okay.
that's literally a key example, like a very, very
Yeah.
real example of AI taking over,
Absolutely.
taking the job. So we have to position ourselves rightly right now.
Absolutely. I was telling my wife the other day that any photographer that doesn't leverage AI today would be
Mhm.
so irrelevant in the next 2 years. Let's even give them a lot of space in the next 2 years. If you are not very good with the use of AI,
Mm.
using AI to get
Optimize yourself. Mhm.
learning prompts, prompt engineering, using the right prompts to get the right type of outcomes that everybody else can't use or can't do. So you sell that as a service. If you can't do that as a photographer, you're out of business completely. Okay. And that's why you need to start, upskilling, getting into the right areas. That's why that is very, very key and very important. So you do your LinkedIn, we show you how to do one. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, we show you how to create one and so on. You build a portfolio, you join the mentorship sessions, which of course you have so many sessions. When I go back to the classroom, I'll show you that again. I've shown you how you prepare your interview. If you have an interview, we prepare you for your interviews. The job reference, a screenshot of what a typical job reference looks like. All we have to do, click on the link, fill all the details, the skills you have, and all those stuff. And that's what helps you keep that job. And when you're on the job, if for any reason you have a challenge, I'm facing this particular problem, this seems a bit difficult, we prep you, we help you on the job. Of course, taking into consideration any issues of data privacy and all of that, but we ensure that you know exactly what to do, asking the right questions and so on and so forth. And of course, we talked about how you need to apply, paid job boards, the hidden job market, knowing that it's not just about applying, there are other ways to also land a job. And after you've done all these three things, in summary, that's how you get the job. Okay, you must learn. It's called the LPA framework. You learn, you package, and you apply. And I kept focus here because focus is a very, very important part of the process. You don't want to be that person that starts with data analytics, and because your friend got a job as a business analyst, you decide to change. Don't just chase the next shiny thing. You want to choose one. They're all high in demand career path. Focus, and you go all in. All right. We've talked about Pavel. I'm not going to dwell on Pavel anymore. He used the framework. This is a teacher back in Cameroon who got a job as a healthcare data reporting analyst. This is Mawutin. I've also talked about Mawutin. I'm not going to dwell on this. Mawutin, operations manager. Today, he's a pathology data analyst with the NHS. This is Toyin. Toyin was a pharmacist back in Nigeria. She came into the UK just like so many people did for her master's, and she knew that, oh, I really want to get a job and I really want to pivot or transition. What do I do? She joined our data analytics program and she did all the things I've shown you so far. She packaged, presented herself, did her CV, joined the mentorship sessions, built a portfolio, applied to multiple jobs. We prepared her for her job, and Toyin got a job with the NHS as well as a benefits analyst from a pharmacist,
We
from a
benefit.
pharmacist to a benefit analyst. All right. I'm going to play Toyin's video later. I kept it somewhere to play. I want you to listen to Toyin herself. This is Sharon. I talked about Sharon earlier. She was a healthcare assistant, also with the NHS. She joined our business analysis program in March this year. She did all the things I've shown you so far. And today, Sharon is a business data analyst. Again, there is a video. This is a full interview where Sharon was explaining how she was able to transition. So you want to go there to watch. I think it was Nanelle that interviewed her. So you want to listen to that video as well. Then this is Abigail. Abigail, phenomenal lady. Abigail is in Canada. So it's not just people in the UK that get jobs. No, in the US, in Canada, Pavel is in the US, for example. Abigail lived in Saskatchewan in Canada. She had years of experience back in Nigeria working with the FIRS. She moved to Canada, struggled to land a job. Okay, she now became a care worker for a while. So people advised Abigail, you need to go for certifications. Go write this certificate. Do PMP. She did it. No job. Do CBAP. She did it. No job. For 2 years after certification, she couldn't get a job. So she came to us. She joined our business analysis program, and Abigail was able to land a job in January 2024 as a supervisor, business services, and data analytics. Okay, so these dates 2025. I think this was March, should be March 2024, thereabouts. That's a typo, anyways. So let me show you Abigail's profile very quickly. So, what this shows you clearly, which we already know, is that certifications don't help you in any way. Okay, it's putting the it's good, it's a nice to have, but you don't want to put the cart before the horse. You can get certifications, okay, but you want to do that after you have the skills and you know how to do the job. So this is Abigail. All right, she currently works with the government of Alberta. If you scroll down, you would see when she did. And the reason why I know Abigail's story very well was because I was one of the people that prepared her for our interviews. She did a PMP in 2021. For years, no job. She listened to, oh, certification, certification. She did CBAP in 2022. After she, for 1 year, no job as a project manager, she did certification, CBAP, no job. And then she came to us. And what did we do for Abigail? Very simple. All we did was, Abigail, you're a care worker at the moment. You want to become a business analyst, okay? All you need to do is work on projects, create a portfolio, learn all the skills, all the tools, all the technologies. When you have an interview, book an interview prep session. She joined the internship, joined all the mentorships, and at the end of the day, today, Abigail has two direct reports. For somebody who had no experience in business analysis, she has two direct reports because she's a supervisor with the government of Canada. And that's Abigail's story. I wish I had enough time to play so you listen to all these people. This is Gad. Gad was a student as well, moved to the UK for his master's. Gad joined our data engineering program in July last year. And this year, January 2025, he got a job as a data warehouse and ETL developer, also with the NHS. Okay, he's also on full visa sponsorship. Again, if you go to Gad's profile, Gad, I always find it difficult to pronounce his surname. He works with one of the NHS trusts. Again, if you go to his profile, he was a data analyst with Tenalytics. Data engineer, I beg your pardon, Azure data engineer with Tenalytics. And today he's a data warehouse and ETL developer with one of the NHS trusts. Started this year, January 2025. Okay, so what you get to see when you look at Gad, who is a data engineer with the NHS in the healthcare space, mechanical engineer back from Nigeria, no experience, no knowledge, joined data engineering, moved into health tech. Okay. You have somebody like Ramat who was in customer service. Today, Ramat is a business architect. And if you listen to these professionals, they tell you how they did it. I worked on projects. Oh, I didn't know what to do. Adeza told me, work on projects. This is how you need to learn. When you have interviews, book a prep, join the mentorship, join the internships. And at the end of the day, they were able to do that to land jobs. Okay. I'm not going to have time. I'd have loved to walk you through all the skills, the key learning areas for each program. But we're not going to have time to do that. Okay. So, one of the things you need to know, so for you to understand, because there are a lot of questions I know you would have, or for example, should I do data analytics? I can see Ramat. Ramat did business analysis. She got a job. Okay. Gad did data engineering. He got a job. This person did project management and got a job. What do I do? All right. So one of the things we're also going to get, you'll get this link in the job description, or when you get my slide in the description, not job description, job in my head. So I'm saying job description. So the description under this video, when you get that, you would have a link for you to carry out an assessment. Okay. So this assessment would assess your personality, who you are, what you do at the moment, and recommend the best career path for you to follow. Okay. And afterwards, book something we call a clarity session. So a clarity session is where you book a free call with us, and then we tell you that, okay, based on your experience, based on your personality, because Nos MJ, some people are not extroverts. They don't want to get to talk to people. They don't want to manage projects and make presentations, which is fine. You don't have to be that way, okay? So their career path for somebody who wants to sit behind the screen, do a lot of work without necessarily interacting with people. Ramat, for example, who is a business architect, you can't be a business architect or a business analyst without interacting. Okay, so you if you listen to how Ramat spoke, you would understand her personality. I went into the room and I smashed it. Okay, so this is somebody who is, bubbly in her vibe. She's outgoing. These are the type of people that want to get into certain career path. So we would guide you on what to do. Just book a free clarity session, and then would walk you through all the key learning areas. If you want to become a business analyst, this is what you need to do, and so on. So I'm just going to go down to what it takes for you to start. All right. How do you join Tenalytics? If I'm ready to start today, what do I do? Okay. So this is Ikmat. I'm going to walk through Ikmat's story. Ikmat was a stay-at-home mom in the UK for a very long time, for 2 years. She wanted to get back into the job, into the work environment. She came into our data analytics program, and she wanted sponsorship. Last year, January, she got sponsorship also with the NHS as an information analyst. So she did data analytics, but got a job as an information analyst with the NHS. This is Judith Ngozi. Judith was a carer in the UK, joined our business analysis program. She wanted more. And do you know how Judith found out about us? Her friend, she went to drop her daughter at school. She met a friend, Tolulokwe. Tolulokwe told Judith that, oh, I just got a job last week. And Judith asked Tolulope, how did you do it? I've been trying to also get a job. And she said, oh, I completed my program with Tenalytics and I got a job. So she recommended to Judith that she should come to Tenalytics. So Judith booked a call. She joined a clarity session. We told her that based on your past experience, based on what we've seen and so on, this is what you should do. So Judith joined our business analysis program last year, in March 2024. And 3 months after, Judith got a job. But guess what? She didn't get a job in the UK. She got a job with a company in the US, working remotely from the UK.
Wow.
Again, there was a full there was a full interview where Judith, gave her story and everything. The beauty about it is everybody knows the UK pays a lot more. So
Mm-hmm.
I beg your pardon, the US pays a
US
lot
pays a
more
lot. Ah, I was
than the
wondering, like, what are you talking about,
UK.
sir?
Yeah, the US pays a lot more than the UK. So she's a business analyst working remotely for a company in the US. She didn't need sponsorship because she already got her sponsorship. She just needed to, move into a new job. She's earning at least times two of what a business analyst would earn on the average in the UK. I can tell you that for free because
Auntie Judy's cut us soap. Oh.
so, I mean, that's Judith's story. This is Chukwebuka. Chukwebuka is in Ireland. He joined our cybersecurity program, followed all the process. Today, he got a job this year in July. So he joined us last year, September. He joined last year, September. July this year, he got a job as a security operations analyst, which is a cybersecurity role with a company in Ireland. This is Abednego. Abednego is Ghanaian. He joined us last year,
Wow.
August.
Abednego. I love that name.
Abednego, yes. He joined us last year, August 2024, joined our data analytics program. This year, in June, he got a job as a quality improvement analyst with the city of Winnipeg. He's in Canada. So, and this is Abednego who has been trying to get a job for a long time. So, because we knew Abednego's story, we invited him when we celebrated our 50th year anniversary. So that's me and Abednego side by side. We invited him. He came to share his experience as well, his story with other people in Canada who are also trying to land jobs. So that's me. That's the co-founder. Ifemena is hiding somewhere at the back, and that's Abednego right there. So we did our 50th anniversary. We brought in Abednego. He came to speak. He came to share his experience, and it was an amazing, amazing, event. This is Bukola in the US. Bukola was in HR back in Nigeria. She moved to the US and she wanted to pivot into a better paying job. She joined our business analysis last year, July, and this year, sorry, 2025, 1 year after, she got a job as a HR business analyst. Okay, so we took our HR experience back in Nigeria and we took business analysis skills that she learned with us. And today she's a HR business analyst. Again, there was a full interview. You can listen to Bukola. This is Sonia. Sonia got a job with British American Tobacco in the UK as a HR analyst after joining HR analytics. This is Idris Adebisi. Joined data engineering. He got a job in Coventry with Jaguar Land Rover as a data engineer. He moved from that job from Jaguar Land Rover. He got a job with QuantSpark in London as a senior analytics engineer. We worked with him all through the process of making this transition. This is Chika, got a job as a financial analyst in the UK after joining our program. Okay, so I'm not going to go. There's so many other stories. I'm going to leave that in the slide. So when you get the slide, you have access to watch every single thing. So the question is, how do I start today? And like I said, Tony spoke for just 1 minute, 60 seconds. But what she said was very instructive. And I want you to listen to Tony, okay? Listen to Tony, and then I'll come and tell you what it takes to get started. All right. Tony is the benefits analyst working with the NHS. Interestingly, Tony has moved from this role as a benefits analyst. She's now a senior. Let me look for Tony's profile. Let me see. Can I remember Tony Eleja? Yes. So that's Tony right there. Tony also works with the NHS. So this is Tony. She's now a pharmacy data analyst.
She was a
She,
pharmacist, right?
yeah, she was a pharmacist, exactly. So her first job was as a benefit analyst. That's, when she created this video that you would listen to. But now this year, February, she's moved to a pharmacy data analyst. And that's simply Tony. But I want you to listen to Tony, hear from her yourself, and what she did and how she was able to do this. All right. So it's 1 minute, 3 seconds. So just enjoy this and let's come back to wrap up.
Hello everyone, my name is Doreen and I recently got a job as a benefits analyst in the UK. I've come from a medical background as a pharmacist, was interested in, breaking into tech. My first encounter with analytics was on LinkedIn. I joined one of their masterclass, just one masterclass where Ifemina spoke, and it just took that masterclass to convince me. I joined in August and a month after I got a job. To be honest with you, every information skill that I was able to apply to get that job, I owe it to Tenalytics. Tenalytics did a great job and is still doing a great job. They groom you and nurture you from the cradle till you become confident. So my advice for you, most importantly, is join. Be integrated into a platform that empowers you and allows you to easily get that first job.
So that's Tony, phenomenal professional. She's doing very well for herself today. Okay. And all it took was just a step to get started. So we have an amazing discount, okay, for all North MJ's community. For those of you joining us live, for those of you watching later, we have an amazing discount for you. All right. So the next cohort starts on the 8th of November. So we have a cohort on the 8th, but the discount only applies to the cohort starting in November. If you want to start in December, we have another cohort. So we have cohorts all through the year. we've had from January up until this moment. All right. So for joining any of the programs, you want to join business analysis, you want to join data analytics like Tony that I just listened to, you want to join data science, data engineering, cybersecurity, any of the programs, instead of paying $1,000, and I'll show you the amount in pounds as well. Instead of paying $1,000, you get to pay only $750. Okay. And the beauty is you don't have to make the full payment at once. You can make payments in 5 installments. So rather than paying $750, I can make payments of $150 to start. So if I want to start on the 8th of November, all it takes is just $150. And in pounds, that's £123. That's how much I'll spend one trip to Primark or one trip to Tesco. Okay. So that's what it takes for you to start your journey.
Mm.
£123. Okay. So you let me just increase this. So that's how you get to start. We have the discounts running for everybody joining from Nos MJ's community. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us easily. There's going to be a link for you to book a clarity session to speak to us. You can send us emails to any of the emails here: inquiries at tenalytics.io, admission at tenalytics.io. You can reach out to any of my colleagues on these numbers, any of the numbers right here. Okay. And of course, that's the first offer I have for you. The first 20 people is not open to everyone, open to the first 20 people from North MJ's community. Okay. So, what you want to do, if you are convinced that you know the career path you want to join, go ahead and register immediately. Okay. However, if you want to speak and ask questions, please feel free. Book a clarity session. Come speak to us before you get started. But I have a second offer for you. We have an amazing event coming up. Okay. So the first 20 people that register from this community would get exclusive access to that session. And that's a session where we will be talking about how to get the Tech Nation endorsement and apply for the Global Talent Visa. Okay. So a lot of people think the skilled worker visa is the only way to stay back in the UK. No, there are so many other pathways. And one of the ways you can easily stay back, no restrictions, you don't need a job offer, you don't need to work for any company. You have either 3 years to ILR if you are a global talent, or 5 years to ILR if you are a global promise. Okay, that's the technician endorsement. So when you have that endorsement, you take it to the home office, you apply for your global talent visa. So we have that event coming up. So you'll also get exclusive access to that event if you are one of the first 20 people to register. Okay. So I think, Nos MJ, we can start taking questions, but I just want to show people how to register for those that want to register. Okay. Let me just see. So while we're taking questions, I'll just go there very quickly.
Okay. So the
Okay.
first
Let's see.
question I have here, yeah, that was sharing me is for everyone listening, either you're a nurse or a carer or non-healthcare person. For instance, you've seen a pharmacist become a tech. You've seen people who had nothing to do with health become, tech professionals. You've seen care workers become professionals. And I see that you've seen the possibility now that anything you can achieve, whatever you want to achieve, if you set your mind to it and you're determined to put in the work. Nothing good comes easy. You need to be ready to
Absolutely.
put in the work, put in the work, put in the finances as well. Okay, people always just want free things. So please trust me, people at the top did not get to the top for free. Trust me, they will tell
Absolutely.
you that. So the
Absolutely.
first question I have here is after we have done these courses,
Yes.
where do we get these jobs? How do we get the jobs?
Where to apply? Is that what you mean?
Yes, yes. Where
Okay.
how do we apply for these jobs?
Okay, very simple. So, like I said while I was going through my session, one of the places you want to go first, that we will always advise you to go to, is your classroom. Okay, so if I go to my classroom, what I want to look for is job offers. Okay, so I look for where I have job offers. Where you see job offers is where you get where to apply. So we always advise to start from here because these are the jobs we have scraped, we have
Mhm.
vetted, and we know that these are the jobs you can do, and we send them to you. They are always uploaded here every week. Okay. And you'd see the jobs with sponsorship. So after applying to this platform, we have so many other sessions where we show you. You have that already in your classroom. Every single link that takes you to job boards where you can apply to. Let me see if I can find one here. Okay, so this is, if you look at the title of this, it says CV templates and job websites. All right. If you click on that, you have job boards in the UK, in the US. If you open that, I don't want to just give that out for free by opening it. Okay, but you get to see the document. This is another one. When we had our mentorship, because we have some Nigerians also joining our
Mhm.
programs. Okay,
Mhm.
so mentorship this past week, this past Thursday, I took that session. Okay, so one of the things I shared is the top effective job boards for jobs in Nigeria, specifically for jobs in Nigeria. So you
Mhm.
want to get a job in Nigeria or you want to get a job remotely from Nigeria. So these
Yeah.
are the things and the resources that we provide to you.
Mhm.
Now, what is even more important is when you get that interview, you don't need to stress, you don't need to call anybody, you don't need to chase anybody and all of that. Just come here and do what? Book your interview prep, like I showed you earlier. Okay, so once you book your interview prep, somebody jumps on a session and preps you for that
Do they
interview.
have to pay for that separately, or is already part
No,
of your program?
everything I've said today, every single thing. The interesting part, of MJ, is you have lifetime access to this
Wow.
platform. So let's assume, and that was what Idris at DBC did. Let me show you Idris again, and I'll use Idris to explain this particular point. This is the gentleman who worked with Jaguar Land Rover. When he was moving from Jaguar Land Rover and wanted to get that next job with QuantSpark in London, he booked an interview prep and we prepped him for that interview again. He didn't have to pay anything else, even though he had finished his program, he had
Mhm.
gotten a job, he was
Mhm.
already working, he still booked an interview prep. So you have lifetime access to a community that is there to support you all through your journey. Okay. So that's a typical example of what Adebisi was able to do. And like I said, he's doing amazingly well. So
Question. Is it okay
yes,
for us to go to the second question? Second
yes, go on.
question says, if someone is already trained, if they are
Yes,
already trained to do, they're already trained to do become a data analyst,
yes.
business analyst, they already have the training. Do you still mentor them? How do you support those individuals?
Fantastic. So all you need to do is book a clarity session. So I talked about Tenalytics, which is where you learn, and Amdari, which is our sister company. I'm the co-founder. There's another co-founder. There are three co-founders. Amdari is where you gain work experience. Okay. So you learn with Analytics and then you gain experience with Amdari. Now, for that person who has skills already and is convinced that their skills are good enough, you don't have to learn again
Mhm.
because you already have the skills. So you go straight into Amdari. Amdari is where you get to start working on projects. You have a line manager who looks at the work you've done, just like you would in a real company. And every single thing from your CV, your LinkedIn, your interview prep, mentorship, you have that at Amdari as well.
So is that a
Okay.
different package then?
It's a different package. It's different from this.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, all
Yeah.
right.
So what the person should do is simply just book a clarity session. Okay. And somebody would guide you on what to do and so on and so forth.
Fabulous. I
Yeah.
believe the way to book the clarity session is through your WhatsApp free community, is it?
If you're in the community, the links will be posted every single time. Okay, so you can book. But I think Elijah would also share the link to book
Okay, okay,
clarity as well.
okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. The
Yeah.
next question, yeah, this one's sent backstage.
Okay.
This
Okay.
one says, are there usually virtual interviews for people who are not in the same country as the interviewer? Is it? I'm not sure if this is for a mock interview or for the real interview, but we can answer for the both.
Yeah, for both, they are virtual interviews. So let's assume, and this happens all the time. And let me give you the story of a lady. There was a lady who got a job with the government of Saskatchewan in Canada. She lived in Kelowna, British Columbia. Now, because the job is in a different province, they asked her to come down physically. And when we're having a conversation, I was preparing her for our interview. I told her that, look, just send an email and request for them to make it virtual. Because she was going to spend about, I think a return ticket was going for roughly close to $1,000. So why spend
But you're not
money
still.
exactly on a job that it's not like you have the offer, you're just going for an interview? So I guided her on how to send the email. She sent the email and it was virtual. They did the interview virtually for her and eventually she got the job. It was a program analyst role and she got that job. Her name is Nonye. And the beauty about Nonye's story is she joined HR analytics and the first 1.5 months she had completed her Excel classes.
Wow.
And that job required somebody
Excel.
who only had Excel skills. So she was confused and scared that, oh, should I apply? Should I apply to this job? And I said, of course, go ahead and apply. You know Excel already. You've completed Excel. Go ahead and apply. And she did. So the fact that she had not done, 3, 4, 5 months, she felt I'm still new. I don't think I can get the job. Today, Nonya is a program analyst with the government of Saskatchewan. She's helping them to analyze data from different programs for people living with disabilities.
Mm.
So she gets that data and see the program that is efficient, effective, and the ones that are not. And she gives advice to, that department within the government to say these are the programs to shut down, these are the programs to continue, and so on and so forth. Okay.
Thank you very
So
much.
before we take the next question, let me
Okay.
just show this very quickly.
Okay.
So for the link that is displayed on the screen at the moment, if you click on that, for those who are compelled, they know what they want to do, they know the program to join. Just click on any of the programs you're interested in. Okay. So click on that. Let's say I want to pay for data analytics. I click on data analytics. You can read about everything, the brochure. You can read the course curriculum. You see the course instructors, the job opportunities, and so on and so forth. Okay. But more importantly, you want to enroll. So click on enroll. You enter your name, enter your email. So I'm going to put an email just to show you how to do it when you want to start. Let me use a temporary email because I've signed up so many times, and so I can show you exactly what to do when you're trying to do this yourself. Okay. So you enter your name, enter an email, enter your phone number. Okay. Enter a phone number. And once you've done that, read the terms and conditions, select that and click create an account. Okay. So you need to create an account on the platform. You make your payment. So you see the 25% discount applied. Okay. So you can either join November or you can join December. So if you're one of the first 20 people to pay, you can defer to start in December if you have commitments in November. You can't start in November. All right. Again, depending on where you are, you can select your preferred currency. So you can pay in Canadian dollars, you can pay in US dollars. So you get to see the amount $750 discounted if you're paying in 5 monthly installments.
Mhm.
Now, if you make a full payment, you get an additional almost $40 discount additional to the already existing discount. Or if you pay in 2 installments, you get almost $40 discount. Okay. If you want to pay in pounds, you go there, select pounds. Okay. And if you can pay the discounted fee instead of paying £820, you get to pay 615. And you can pay in up to 5 monthly installments where you pay £123 monthly for 5 months. All right. So If you make a full payment, instead of paying 615, you get to pay 585. So you save additional £30, but it's all based on, your own convenience. You can make 2 monthly payments, 3 monthly payments, 4 monthly payments, and the maximum is five. So let's say I select 5 monthly payments, apply discount. Okay, so it's going to apply my discount for me, and there's something I want to show you so that we know that you are coming from NOS MJ. So your discount is already applied as long as you're one of the first 20 people. Okay, so you see the discount applied. My first payment comes in today, October, the next November, December, January, February. Now, the amazing part is if your salary doesn't come on the 18th of November, for example, after making your first payment on your dashboard, you can change the date to maybe 25th or 26th at your own, whenever your salary comes. So it's easy for you to make subsequent payments. All right. So I'll click on all of this,
I think
pay
this
now.
installment plan is brilliant.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it makes it a lot easier to start. And like I always tell people, you know, um, even for anybody even if I don't even have a proper job and I work in the warehouse, for example, I'm going to make £120 in a week, in 1 week. And that's enough to cover 1 month of payments. So it's a lot easier and straightforward for you. Okay. So I'm just going to enter this is just a test, not my actual credit card.
Use your larger credit card. We will go and use it.
So select your location. If you're joining from the UK, wherever, just select that. Let me see. BD6 1QN. Just click on pay. Okay. So once you've done that, your payment is confirmed and you get access. You need to complete a few more details before you can go to your dashboard. So once your payment is confirmed, payment successful, the next is to access your course, create your calendar, challenge on the leaderboard. So I'll go to dashboard, and this is where I need to verify my email. So you have a code that will be sent to your email. I'm just going to do that. Mine is 504841. Okay, so 504841. Okay, so verify. So once you verify, you just fill in some information quickly. Country of residence, very quickly. You feel that gender, male, your preferred time. Remember, I talked about the timing. So prepare the time that best suits you. 11 a.m. British summer time, or you want to join the class for those in the US or Canada, you can select that. How did you find out about us? So come here and go to select what? Nurse MJ. So you see Nurse MJ right there. Okay. So click on Nurse MJ. You can enter an alternative email. If you have a Google email, for example, just enter that right there. What made you register? I had a fantastic session with Adeza, or I joined the clarity session. They answered all my question. How much time can you commit every week? Okay, so I always advise at least 1 hour per day. Like Nurse MJ said, you are getting into a new career path. You want to put in the work, commitments. There's expectation from your own end as well. So you want to ensure that you go all in. 1 hour per day is what I always recommend. So in a week, about 7 hours. Okay, so select that, complete setup. And once you've done this gets you into your dashboard. You can start learning. You can start, installing all the tools and technologies you need to install, and we give you access to that. We show you how to install. Okay, so I just paid for data analytics. You'll see that right here. You come in here, click on start learning, and you can start watching all your sessions. You start with your installation, how to install Excel, Microsoft Office, how to install Power BI, how to install PostgreSQL, and so on and so forth. Okay, you can also go to your billing history. If you want to change your credit card or your debit card and all of that, you can do that here. You'd see when your next payment would be coming in. You can make adjustments. to these dates. Like I said, if your salary doesn't come in on the 18th, you can always change this. If your payment is due and you want to request for a grace period, you can actually do that here as well. And if your next payment is on the 18th, but you have some cash coming to your account, you just want to clear that ahead of time, you can also do that right here as well. And you can update your card. So it's a flexible, phenomenal, everything you need is right here for you. Okay. So I think I'll just take a breather, take if we have any other questions, but if not, I think we've actually spent a long
2 hours.
time on the
Bye.
call. Yes.
I know. I'll just take this last question that says, is English test a job requirement for someone coming from Nigeria?
Well, it depends on where. If you're coming to the UK, and most of the time it is a requirement, especially with the new regulations and so on. Okay, you need to do some English tests, but prior to the new regulations, which the English part I think would kick in January 2027, not yet. So you would still find those jobs where you don't need to write the English test to get in. But please do confirm, okay? When I went to the UK myself, I studied in the UK. So, and if you study in the UK, you don't need English requirements. You don't need English again as a proof of, language. So I didn't need to write. My wife didn't need to write English. So you will not need to write English for your job as well. Okay. But anything immigration, please do confirm before you get into it. Okay.
Okay, can we have just a final advice and round up so everybody we can go to
Yeah,
our bed now? If you missed the
absolutely.
live session from the beginning, guys, just feel free. This video will be on there and you can watch. Okay, so let's just have a final advice and a round up.
Final advice is to get started. Okay. I'll tell you something that happened to someone. There was a lady who joined a session like this. She shared the link to a friend. Oh, I joined this amazing session. I had a good time. The speaker spoke very well. I learned a lot. Her friend registered and got a job. But she did not register. So it was after our friend got a job, and our friend was telling her that, I just got a
You
job,
shared it with me.
you shared it with me. I took action. So the most important thing is you've heard everything I've said so far. It sounds very good. It is very good. But if you don't start, 2025 is gone, 2026 would come and it would also go. So the best time to start is now. And starting is simply either paying because you are sure of the program to start, or you book a clarity session that is free. You come ask us questions, you come pick our brains, and we guide you on what to do. We don't select and tell you that this is what you must do, but we give you options and say, based on this, based on that, we think this is the best way for you to go. You make the decision and you start your journey into a high paying job, no matter where you are.
All right, it's been an amazing and eye-opening session, even for me. I've been writing things down. We really, really, truly appreciate your time with us today. You've shared so much knowledge. Thank you so much. And I hope that everyone has taken everything on board and they begin to take action. If you know how many times I've talked about, it's like this business analyst is the one I want to go to. I actually have so much interest in tech, and I think I will find myself on that side really soon. Thank you so much for your time. Do
it's a
enjoy the rest of your evening if you have other plans. My
it's a
plan is to
pleasure
retire to
anytime.
bed. Do take care. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Cheers. Good night. Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye.